United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. City Clerk, if you will, take note that we are all in attendance except for Commissioner Kirksey, unable to be here this morning. If I could, from the Commission, get the approval of the minutes from the August 4th, 2026 meeting, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and seconds for approval. Any discussion or changes to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say yea.
Yea.
Any opposed say nay. All right, this morning we're on item number 5 on your agenda. We have communications from the Mayor and the City Commission. First up, we have a couple of recognitions. We first are going to recognize and honor our Dothan Leisure Services, Dothan Dixie Angels 10U Girls All-Star Softball Team. They'll join me at the podium, please.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right here. That's mine too. They'd strike me out, I know. Who pitches? You'd strike me out, I know it. Guarantee you.
This is great.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, if parents will hold on for just a minute, I'll let y'all squeeze in here in a minute and get in here and get a picture in the front. So we don't need to read the proclamation, and we'll let y'all ease in here and do that. But y'all squeeze in as much as you can so y'all can participate as well. We love celebrating champions, and we love celebrating our sports, and especially our youth sports. And so this morning, it's my honor to be able to recognize these young ladies. And so let me read a certificate of recognition that's talking about you. Whereas the City of Dothan recognizes our Dothan Leisure Services athletes as an important part of our community. And whereas under the leadership of head coach Dustin Tyler, the Dothan Dixie Angels 10U Girls All-Star Softball Team won the Alabama Recreation and Parks Association State Championship, followed by the Dixie Softball Alabama State Championship, and won the Dixie Softball World Series in Bellevue, Florida. And whereas this accomplishment required skill and determination, teamwork, and a focus on selfless commitment to others. And whereas these outstanding players represented themselves, their families, and their community with honor. And whereas the City of Dothan extends our congratulations to the entire team and commends the players and the coaching staff for their hard work and dedication. Now, therefore, I, Mark Sleeman, Mayor of this great city of Dothan, Alabama, and in such capacity, do hereby recognize and congratulate you, the Dothan Leisure Services Dothan Dixie Angels 10U Girls All-Star Softball Team. Thank y'all. One more round of applause.
Again, thank you, Mayor. It's always an honor, and we're proud to be able to recognize teams within our department that has been successful throughout the season, and so it's a great honor to be able to do this. And just to let y'all know a little bit of the stats, they played in about 4 different tournaments from district to a couple state tournaments in the World Series, and they went 19-2 play.
Yeah.
They scored 178 runs and only given up 34. So I would be afraid to play against these young girls, and I don't think I could find a team to be able to beat them. But again, appreciate, congratulations as well, and thank you and for all you're doing and participating in our programs. But it's all about you all, not about us. But again, congratulations, and knowing that y'all going to continue progressing and continue these winning traditions. And just let you all know that y'all are the 4th team in the past 20 years from Dothan has won a World Series. So congratulations again.
I just want to say thank you guys for supporting them. The girls really learn how to fight through adversity. They play teams from Virginia, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida. Am I missing anywhere? South Carolina. Yeah, I mean, so they played some serious competition, and it was really fun to spend the summer with them. So thank you all for y'all's support.
Commission can stand up and we'll get a picture with the commission standing behind. That's good.
You got it?
Oh, yeah. Who's in charge? Come on.
Thank y'all guys. Thanks. Great job.
Thank you.
Great job.
Appreciate it.
Great job. Great job. Yeah. Hey, congratulations.
Good to see you, my friend. Hey, always. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Y'all try to get good commission.
Huh? That's all right. Good job. Yes, sir. Hey, thanks, Bob. Absolutely. Happy to help.
Hey, at the same time next year.
She said y'all going.
Next up, we have another very special guest with us this morning. It's not every day that we have a major general in our midst, and we are extremely proud to recognize you, sir, this morning, and your wife for being with us. If y'all would please join me at the podium. Stand right over here next to me. Yes, I would try to say something profound, except for when you stand, that come over here. I mean, look at this. I mean, if you want to be a general, you got to be tall, right? Actually, I think you're like one of the tallest ones we've had. Series of shorter ones, yeah. No, in all seriousness, we are gratefully appreciative of you and your family being here. In our area, and not only Dothan, but the Wiregrass area. But we also are privileged and honored to know all the things that you have done and accomplished for our country. And so we want to take the time this morning as you are leaving and change of command and moving on to another place. We wanted to take this time, our commission and our city, to recognize you and your family. So if you will allow me to read this proclamation first. All right. Certificate of recognition honoring Major General Claire Gill. Whereas the city of Dothan recognizes and honors the men and women of the United States Armed Forces who exemplify leadership, dedication, sacrifice, and commitment to our nation. And whereas Major General Claire Gill has demonstrated distinguished leadership and unwavering dedication throughout his service to the United States Army, earning the respect and admiration of soldiers, families, colleagues, and our Wiregrass communities. And whereas General Gill's tenure as the commanding general at Fort Rucker has reflected the highest traditions of military service with a steadfast commitment to Army aviation, readiness, soldier development, and the success and well-being of the men and women entrusted to his command. And whereas Fort Rucker and the United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence hold a special place in the Wiregrass community, and the city of Dothan deeply values the enduring partnership between our community and the soldiers, the families, the veterans, and leaders who call the Wiregrass home. And whereas General Gill's leadership has strengthened the relationship between Fort Rucker and the city of Dothan, contributing to the continued prosperity, unity, and shared sense of purpose that characterize our region. And whereas on the occasion of General Gill's change of command, the City of Dothan wishes to express its sincere appreciation for his distinguished service, leadership, and contribution to the United States Army, to the Wiregrass community in the City of Dothan. Whereas the City of Dothan extends its best wishes to General Gill and his family as he undertakes his next chapter of service with gratitude for the lasting legacy of leadership, friendship, and service that he leaves behind. Now, therefore, I, Mark Saliba, Mayor of the City of Dothan, and our commission in such capacity do hereby recognize and commend Major General Claire Gill on this very special day. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, City Council, Mr. Morris, Angie, on behalf of Fran, and all the soldiers of Fort Rucker that the mayor just talked about. Thanks for this great journey we've been on. We met here almost 30 years ago. Fran was in the Army, helicopter pilot, and we happened to meet at a golf tournament that she was running. There are a lot of things that I am so proud of what we do at Fort Rucker. I could talk about the economic impact on southern Alabama. I could talk about the fact that our kids come to school down here. We got a lot of folks that choose to live down here. They go to church down here. They play sports down here. Very proud of all that. But more than anything, I think it is just the southern hospitality and the relationship that we have that strikes so much, within my heart. What we do at Fort Rucker, as the mayor said, is incredibly important. We generate aviation warfighters who are going to, leave here in future years, go on. I don't even know where they're going to end up in the world, but what I do know is they're going to be trained and ready. It's going to be an unfair fight, and the U.S. Army is going to contribute to whatever the joint mission is to rid tyranny and oppression from the world. So we have a lot of new things happening. Some of you may have seen in the headlines, Flight School Next, that contract was just awarded this past week. The MV-75, I've talked with Adam Hartzog about some opportunities. I'm really optimistic about that. If you want to hear about what we do, talk to Adam. He saw some things that were classified that he can't talk about. We literally made him sign his life away, but he can talk about some of the cool things that we do. Certainly, we want the best and brightest of Dothan, Alabama, and frankly, the United States of America to come join our Army, serve our nation. We think it makes great humans, great citizens, people that are going to, leave the Army and go out and be in the community and do things that, like all of you do. So again, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for this honor, and thanks to everybody for being great friends of Fort Rucker.
Well, on behalf of myself and the commission and the citizens of Dothan, Alabama, this time we would like to offer you a key to our city. I'm not sure whose door it opens, but yes, all of them. But it is to let you know how much we appreciate you, and we'd love to have you back here in Dothan at some point in your lives. And I always extend that invitation. Yes, sir. Also, we do recognize how important it is to have a great team, and you have a great team in here, and I want to recognize because I do understand and value that and appreciate that, having someone that serves with you each and every day. I love your history as well. Dr. Gill, Fran Gill, is an Army aviation veteran as well, who currently serves as an emergency room physician. They are proud parents of their son Joshua, who attends college in Boston, Massachusetts. Dr. Gill, during an Army change of command ceremony, the spouse of the outgoing commander traditionally receives a standard bouquet of a dozen red roses in full bloom. So consider this as the city's change of command ceremony this morning. And please accept these roses on behalf of the city of Dothan as a sign of your loyalty, affection, and gratitude for service and sorrow at the family's departure from the Wiregrass in the city of Dothan. But know that you will always have a place here. So thank you, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If the commission would like to say anything at this time, I know that's out of tradition, but more.
I appreciate all you've done, and thank you for this community. It's great, and wish you well on your next venture. Thank you, both of you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for that warm welcome for the general and his family, as well as the 10U girls, and celebrating them as well this morning. We are now have communications from the commission. Commissioner Daniels, you're up first, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mayor, city manager, fellow commissioners, city personnel, and members of our community. It is truly a privilege to be here with you this morning as we continue to important work of serving our great city. Congratulations to the Dixie Angels 10U Girls All-Star Softball team. I pray that today's meeting is productive, respectful, and focused on decisions that strengthen our neighborhoods and improve the lives of the people we have been entrusted to serve. I participated this morning in the Pray for Dothan at the intersection of Helen Avenue and Westgate. Thank you all for being here, and may God bless each of you and the city of Dothan.
Thank you.
I have no comment.
All right.
Well, good morning, everybody. I would also, of course, like to congratulate the girls softball team. Just an amazing accomplishment, and it's always so exciting, and I'm always so proud when folks from little old Dothan go out there and just beat the rest of the world and the rest of the country. So I'm just so excited about that. I also participated in Pray for Dothan yesterday morning. I was out with my church, and it was just great to see a lot of other churches and folks in this town who care enough to show up, even at 7:30 in the morning, and it's still 85 degrees out right now at that time. But just such a great thing. So I just want to say thanks to all the organizers and participants, and hopefully, we just take this time this week. I think there's more activities going on later this week, but just to say how much we care about our city and to ask for God's favor on our city. I do want to say thanks to General Gill just left, but what an American. Many folks don't really know his story, but one of the best Army aviation leaders that we've had. I've worked with a lot of general officers in my career when I was in the Army, and General Gill is he's one of the best. And so our area is very fortunate to have him. A lot of tough decisions have transpired during his command. And, they say Mother Rucker, everybody always comes back. And I do also hope he comes back to join us, because what a contribution that he makes to our community, and I'd be remiss just to not make sure that everybody knows that. We do have a lot of tough topics on the agenda, not just today, but in the next few weeks. And again, I just want to say thanks. I've had a lot of calls from a lot of folks, a lot of just difficult things, and we're here to represent the people, and I take that very seriously. And so I just want to say thank you to all the folks that reached out to us, and no one yelled at me. I was kind of surprised. No one screamed. It was very cordial and respectful, and that's, I think, what we need. So thank you all very much for that.
So, thank you.
Just quickly, I want to say thank you to General Gill and the impact that he's made in Dothan. Really, Fort Rucker is such an integral part to our city and to the area. And I want to thank the city manager, mayor, for really being intentional about the relationship. Commissioner Stock, your contributions as well, and the staff, and really the whole commission for really being intentional with that relationship. That's great. Also, I see one of my former colleagues, Aristotle Kirkland, in the back. So, hello, sir.
Hey.
And I will say, a lot of the dirt that you see moving and the things that are going on right now isn't just this commission that's seated. A lot of it's with our predecessors and the last commission. So thank you for your service, and wish you well in your future endeavors. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, just to reiterate on what pretty much everything's been said there, but Commissioner Stock on the softball, I know how hard it is to get to these tournaments and win. It's not like travel ball where you keep trying over and over again. This is, you lose, you're out. And my career never made it that far. I think state tournament, couldn't win that. So that's amazing to be able to do this. So that's great, the representation of our city, and then we offer these programs in the city. And for General Gill too, yes, it's just amazing the things that he's done, and I wish him the best. Fort Rucker is a key part of this Wiregrass area and economy. So whatever we can do to support them, we need to do it. Everybody does. I want to thank again all our department heads. I think I've reached out to just about everybody this week on some issue. to try to get, citizen concerns resolved. Want to highlight just one, as we're talking about the girls softball. If you didn't get their Dothan Leisure Services fall program, if you don't think there's anything to do in this city, you need to get this program. There are so many things that are provided here, different events, after-school camps, athletics, aquatics, fitness, hobbies and lessons. I even saw ice fishing somewhere at Eastgate. I don't know how you do that. Seniors, we have senior programs and therapeutics. So there are things at very low cost or little cost to do. You need to just take a look. There are things out there, so please take advantage of those things. We're all paying for those things, and it's one of the great things about the city. So I'll stop with there, Mayor, and let you go.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And just echo all the sentiments that have been expressed this morning by the commission as well. And I am appreciative of the Pray for Dothan. I want to say thanks to those who put that together for us this second year doing so, and being on every corner, trying to be on a lot of the different corners in the different districts. And I think it's meaningful. And I always appreciate the presence of our pastors that are here in our chambers each and every Tuesday. And so it's comforting that we have a faith-filled and faith-based community. And so thank you for that as well. We did, I don't know, we don't sing happy birthday, but we did have a commissioner that had a birthday this week. And so Commissioner Daniels, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And we don't, once you reach 50 here, we don't tell our age anymore. So I'm not going to say mine and she's not going to say hers. We are glad that everyone can be in attendance this morning, and to reiterate some of what was already said, making decisions about the business of our city causes elected officials to have to make some hard decisions from time to time, and do appreciate all the input from people that do reach out, and so thank you for that. And as Commissioner Stock said, I think everybody has been very cordial and understands everybody has difference of opinions. So thank you for all of that as well. City Manager, going to turn it over to you, sir, for your comments.
Thank you, sir. First off, I'd like to invite up the Dothan Housing Authority to introduce our new director.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dana Kirkland, and I am proud to stand here today representing the dedicated staff of Dothan Housing. As our agency enters an exciting new chapter following the retirement of Mr. Sam Crawford, the staff wanted to take the opportunity to introduce the leader who will be guiding us forward. And fortunately, we did not have to look far to find someone with experience, knowledge, commitment to lead Dothan Housing into its next chapter. Benita Schatz previously served as our Chief Financial Officer, and for those of us who have worked alongside her every day, she has already proven to be an invaluable asset to Dothan Housing. I myself, every day, have witnessed Ms. Schatz be fair and honest to everyone she encounters, to making difficult decisions that put everyone of the community and its residents first, upholding accountability, and her passion and love to serve this community has already been shown by the difference she makes every day. She brings more than 19 years of experience in public housing and financial leadership, and it has played an important role in ensuring that our programs and resources remain stable, effective, and responsive to the needs of our community. As the CFO, Benita demonstrated strong leadership and stewardship of our agency's resources. Now, as the CEO, she will lead our entire team with a vision that is focused on expanding affordable housing opportunities and strengthening our neighborhoods and empowering all families throughout the city of Dothan. On behalf of the entire staff, we are excited about this next chapter and look forward to working under her leadership. It is now with great privilege that I officially introduce Chief Executive Officer of Dothan Housing, Ms. Benita Schatz.
Pretty much said everything I was going to say, so thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dana, for the kind introduction. Thank you, Mayor Saliba and Commission for the opportunity to be introduced today, and as the CEO for Dothan Housing. I'm honored to stand here before you, and as the CFO, it gave me a close, on-the-ground view of the organization, and I'm grateful for the chance to lead in a broader way. The experience taught me firsthand how every budget decision and every program we fund ultimately shows up in everyone's daily life. One of the top priorities in strengthening the partnership between Dothan Housing and the City of Dothan is housing does not exist in isolation. It intersects with economic development, public safety, infrastructure, and overall quality of life that Dothan places. We want Dothan to be a place that we're proud to call home. My vision for Dothan Housing is to make it to be more than a provider for affordable housing. I want us to be a genuine partner in community development, create real opportunities for our residents while helping building stronger neighborhoods throughout Dothan. This means a strategic look at our existing properties, thoughtful redevelopment, and close collaboration with the city. I also believe deeply in accountability and stewardship. We have the responsibility to our residents and our community to manage our resources wisely, to ensure that our properties in place are places where people feel safe, supported, and proud to live. I look forward to meeting each of you and finding meaningful ways that we can work together in the months and in the years ahead. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, I'd like to invite up Hudson Alpha Wiregrass to introduce one of our new companies.
Hello, I'm Barb Malchow with Hudson Alpha Wiregrass, and as we are talking about the Wiregrass Innovation Center and telling the world about what we're doing in Dothan, it's been very exciting to draw some entrepreneurs from places around the country and different places in the world, but it's extra special when we have a homegrown entrepreneur in our building. And today, as many of you already know him, I'm going to introduce Jack Stansel, CEO and founder of Sentinel Ag, and let him give you an update about his company and what the Wiregrass Innovation Center means to him.
Thanks, Barb, and good morning, Mayor,
Morning.
City Commission. Appreciate y'all having us this morning. I am Jack Stansel. I'm the founder and CEO at Sentinel Ag. Sentinel Ag is providing software to farmers and agronomists that help them make better nitrogen and water management decisions, ultimately to help drive profitability and efficiency on the farm. Right now, those solutions are more in demand than they ever have been with the struggles that farmers are having with high input costs, and also as we're seeking to steward the environment. Sentinel Ag has grown over the past few years to serve 25 different states, including here in Alabama, as well as 3 countries. We've made a tremendous impact on agriculture and hope to continue growing that. But today I want to talk a little bit about the Wiregrass Innovation Center and what it's meant to me personally. I'm a graduate of Dothan High School, grew up here in this community, and my educational journey took me out to Nebraska, where I started Sentinel Ag about 5 years ago. I built the business initially there with the Nebraska ecosystem and the support that it gave me there. But 2 years ago, my wife and I were called home to help my family amidst a health challenge that we were having with my dad. And the innovation ecosystem that has been developed here in Dothan allowed us to come back and do that without losing any momentum on the business, and in fact giving us the opportunity to expand the business and continue innovating. So the Wiregrass Innovation Center in one way has created opportunity, but the other thing that it has done for me in this particular community is it started to develop an ecosystem of entrepreneurs and others that are focused on innovation in the community. In Nebraska, that was really critical to making sure that entrepreneurs didn't feel alone in the risks that they're taking to develop things. And so I think it's a really positive thing for the community to have this ecosystem that is developing around innovation. And I really appreciate your support of those innovative efforts. And just personally thank you for the opportunity that you've given me to come back to the community and continue to build Sentinel Ag. I'm excited to see what more is to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all I have, sir.
City Manager, I
Yes.
failed to point out somebody. We got former District 6 Commissioner Philip Tidwell over here, and when Mr. Pierce mentioned things that happened in the future, in the past, I mean, that are what we're looking for today, so he is a big part of that, and I can't thank him enough for his leadership. I can't remember, it's been a few years ago, but 20, but some things that he did and that commission did that the place that we are today in a positive way. So thank you, Philip.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We are on item number 7, if you're looking on your agenda. It's a public hearing regarding the rezoning of approximately 29.8 acres located at 374 Taylor Road. It will be referenced under item number 9 below. If there's anyone that wishes to speak just on this particular item, the 29 acres rezoning, they will come forward at this time and state their name at the podium, please. Okay, there's no one from the lobby coming forward and no one in here coming forward, so then I'll call the public hearing closed on item number 7. Item number 8 is a public hearing regarding the assessment of weed abatement costs against various properties. It will be referenced in item number 11 below. If there's anyone that wishes to speak on the assessment of weed abatement costs, please come forward at this time. All right, again, no one's coming from the lobby and or from the commission chambers, so I'll call the public hearing closed on item number 8. We'll now move to the 2 ordinances that were referenced above. Number 9 is ordinance number 2026-210, rezoning the property owned by Ronnie Turnham, located at 374 Taylor Road from AC, Agriculture Conservation, to a planned unit development district. This item will require a motion and a second for immediate consideration from the commission, please.
Motion for immediate consideration.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for immediate consideration. All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion from the commission on this item or questions?
It's just great to see some smaller, hopefully more affordable housing going in.
Thank you, sir.
And Todd, this is recommended approval by the Planning Commission, is that right?
Yes.
All right. No other questions? Then I'll call the question. All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. All right. Item number 10, ordinance number 2026-211. It's amending Chapter 82, solid waste of the City of Dothan Code of Ordinance to update the existing fee structure, enhance operational efficiency, and address the current collection needs to ensure a more sustainable, self-sufficient waste management system. This also will require a motion and a second for immediate consideration.
Motion for immediate consideration.
Second.
Motion and a second for immediate consideration. All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. All right.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second for approval, now open for discussion from the commission. Also, I'll pause at this time. I think we have one privilege of the floor on item number 10. So typically when we vote on something, we let that person go ahead and have the privileges of the floor at this particular time while we're getting ready to vote on it. So Justin Woodham, he's here. There's a Justin Woodham in the lobby. Just one moment, please, y'all, and I'll wait. Make sure they're here or not before we move on. Nope. All right. Mr. Woodham must not be here. So you make note, please, that he's not here for his privileges of the floor. Okay? All right. Since he's not here, then open up for discussion from the commission.
Could we please just get maybe an overview from Mr. Wright, just for everyone's current awareness on where we stand? I know there's some recent additions or changes.
Yes, sir.
that came out.
Go through the slide.
I'm not asking this for like the whole briefing, but maybe,
Okay.
just some of those high points. I think there was something changed recently we added to it.
Yes, sir. Well, we got to this point through a series of strategic planning directives from you guys, and you've seen the several different proposals that we've made to address a lack of revenue to cover the expenditure of collection operations. So we've narrowed that down to what you see before you today. That's one of the more direct paths to close that gap and cover the funding that we need to continue operating this in the black versus having to transfer money from the general fund to the waste collections fund to continue this operation. As you know, we've got nearly a $6 million gap that we're trying to close, that we're projected to transfer $5.5 million from the general fund to collection services this year to cover the gap there. The proposals that you've seen have all addressed that situation in different, basically different math proposals to get us there. We're currently looking at proposing a $20 fee beginning on October the 1st, and then that would increase by $5 for the next 3 years until we reach that point to where we achieve that balance between revenue and expense. There's also a multitude of things that we're doing internally from an operational standpoint to help save money moving forward. A lot of those will be, the ordinance changes will allow us to implement some of those changes, and the majority of that is based around separating of green waste and other trash materials so that we can handle that more effectively, more efficiently internally, as well as helping us extend the life of the landfill as it's operating today.
Can I ask one question on that part,
Yes.
please? It's my understanding that that is the most expensive part of our collection services, that bulk waste. Like, that is overwhelmingly the cost driver in this. Is that accurate?
From a monthly standpoint, the garbage and the trash are neck and neck. Trash is a little higher than the garbage collection at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Both of them are over the $14.75 mark that we're currently collecting.
And could you clarify what garbage is and what trash is? Because I always get them confused.
Garbage is what you put in your green can. That's your household waste that goes in the curbside for collection. Trash is any of your green waste where you trim trees, limbs, you put your refrigerator by the road, anything that comes out of your house that is not just your normal household garbage that we collect.
Tommy, just go over again, I know part of the proposal is to do away with curbside recycling. I've got a few calls about that. I mean, people like to do it, I do it. But the cost savings by doing away with the curbside and having just the drop-off places, where if you want to recycle, you can, how that helps us keep the cost at a lower amount going further in the future than if we had to include that in there. I don't know if it would be an additional $5 a month or 10, it was something, and so just some of those savings, people, the trucks, all those things that, while people ask, what are you doing to save money or keep costs down? That was a significant savings, if I remember.
And Tommy, let me interject right there. Could you also clarify what the definition of recycling is as we sit here for the city of Dothan? What that includes? It's not a pizza box. It's not a lot of the things that I personally thought were recyclable. I thought you throw a milk can or a milk carton in the recycling bin, it's going to the recycling plant, and that's just not the case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Unless it's washed out, dried, those types of things.
Well, it's the way the city of Dothan collects recycle at this point, it's considered dirty recycle. And part of that is lack of education on the people and what we collect in those blue cans. A lot of it is not technically recycled material. There's a facility in Montgomery that we have a contract with where we ship all of our recyclables on a weekly basis, and they do that separation service for us and remove any of the items that are not recyclable. And then they either recycle or transport what's the garbage to their landfill in the area.
And that's costing us about $4,000 a week.
Yeah, so it's about $1,000 per load. We're sending approximately 4 truckloads per week to Montgomery at about $1,000 a piece. And that includes the private hauling fees and the service charge from that facility in Montgomery.
Do they ever ask, excuse me, I didn't mean to, do they ever tell you how much of what we send is recyclable, just out of curiosity? Ever heard them talking about that?
Steven's standing out here? We don't have that information from them. There's another provider in Walton County, Florida, Fort Walton, that we sent a test load to, and we had results from that, but it's probably less than 50% of what we collect is actually recyclable.
Okay.
Our collection service right now, to include our effort and the hauling effort, is just over $4 per month is what we expend to dispose of our recycling in the city of Dothan.
So if we did recycling at the sites, drop-off sites, that would probably increase the percentage of what would be kept as recyclable. Is that?
Yes, sir. Well, our goal there would be basically 100% because we do have that staffed and we can man the various bins and keep that separated and dispose of anything that does not qualify as recycled material on site there. The key is having that staff though so that we can monitor that process.
So my question, so that cuts out some of the extra expense that we'd have if we kept curbside recycling
Yes, sir.
from what we're proposing.
Definitely.
I just want to make folks are aware of
Our
that.
expenditure is just over $4 per resident to handle that
So we can
recycling.
reduce that down tremendously by having just the drop-off sites.
Yes, sir.
Would a larger, I was in Robert in the Highlands the other day and I seen this little trash bulk truck come by with a larger truck because he had to take that and then they had to take the time and load it onto a trailer because there wasn't a trailer with some updated equipment with a larger bulk capacity. Would that help on price some?
We are actually looking at our fleet options right now, and we've already implemented one truck that operates in a different fashion from that. It's actually a self-unloading truck, so it's running back to the disposal location more often, but it's eliminating the need for that extra truck to meet them and unload on site. So that's helping us to reduce employee count and fleet maintenance from that point. Like I said, we only have one of those trucks at this point, and we're looking to, as we replace that traditional knuckle boom that you see, we will be implementing the new trucks moving forward.
Then, just an idea throwing it out, but, if you find a not-for-profit group that wanted to sort that trash in Dothan, it probably never work, just an idea, you know what I mean?
Dirty job.
Dirty job.
It's a lot.
No, thank you, Tommy. I think one of my concerns, and I've struggled with this one because, as a businessman and as someone who believes in fiscal responsibility, this is tough because we know we're losing, like as you said, roughly $6 million a year. And we know we have a lot of residents who are barely getting by. And I don't think that's lost on any of us up here. We've had, when we were doing our work group, I know there was a lot of concerns amongst us about that. I think also I had a phone call the other day from someone who's got some medical challenges, and they have a lot more waste than normal folks, and so these are very tough. And I would say over the past year, this might be one of the most challenging things that we face as a commission. And as we know, 2013 is the last time that the rate has gone up. So it's been building for a while. It's been a challenge for a while. And so I think it's really a tough spot to be in because we know what we need to do, but there's a lot of things changing right now with this. And I think there's a lot of good things that we're implementing in here. I'm happy to see and I'm encouraged to see because I do think we need to try to change some of these policy things to be more effective and more efficient. So I just want to say thank you to you and the staff. I know you did a lot of hard work on it. I know it wasn't easy, and you've definitely given us a lot of options and a lot of information here. So however the vote turns out and however the rest of this discussion goes, I just want to say thank you for all the hard work.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy. Thanks to your whole group.
Thank
And
you.
Ramona.
Yeah.
Ramona, too.
Any other
Well,
recommendations?
yeah, I'd say kind of what we've been presented with, good, bad, or indifferent, sort of a lose-lose situation, right? The glaring issue before us is we've got a significant gap in our solid waste fund, and that gap is getting bigger every year, correct? In my opinion, we were elected to do more than identify problems. We were elected to find solutions that put the city in the strongest fiscal position while keeping the best interest of our citizens at the forefront. Sometimes doing that, like Commissioner Stock said, those are difficult decisions, and I believe those are one of these moments that we're having to deal with today. I would say a simple no vote on the city's recommendation doesn't solve the problem. Just saying no without an alternate solution is garbage. That pun intended. During our strategic planning process, we collectively identified the growing problem with the solid waste fund. We then asked the city manager and staff to come back to us with a recommendation that would put the fund on solid operational footing. That's exactly what they did. They identified the problem, developed a plan, and brought that plan to us. Now, it's our responsibility to take that recommendation and determine what we believe is the best for our citizens here in Dothan and for our city. If we ultimately decide not to adopt the recommendation exactly as presented, that would not be viewed as an indictment of the city manager or our staff. They did what we asked them to do. They gave us a plan. Now it's our job to do our part, to evaluate it, improve it if necessary, and make a difficult decision that puts the solid waste fund and our city on a stronger financial path. So what are we going to do? In my opinion, we've got three options. Do nothing. This is essentially what we've done for the last 13 years. Since 2013, we've had to put $65 million from the general fund into the solid waste fund. If we continue doing nothing, we are projected to need another $85 million over the next 10 years. That would bring the total to approximately $150 million. That's not good business. We cannot continue to take that amount of money from the general fund to cover this gap. Our second option would be privatize it. People say all the time, well, why don't we just get somebody else to do it? Well, that means hiring a for-profit company to provide the service. I can tell you from experience, I believe this would cost our citizens significantly more than what's being proposed today. The reason's simple. A private company would still have many of the same costs that the city has, but they would also need to make a profit. We'd give up quality control and quality of service, as well as the cost. Some citizens sometimes forget to take out their trash. Guess what they do? They call us. What do? Is we call Steven, Tommy, hey, can y'all go over here and rectify this issue? And they do it. And they do it every single time, and they're great at it. If we privatize it, we lose all that control. Personally, I don't believe the solid waste should be a profit-making operation for the city. But we do have to close the gap. So the third option is do something. Take action. We can consider the city's recommendation in its entirety, or we can find a compromise that we believe is better for our citizens. It's not a no, but simply an alternate solution. Here's what I believe it could look like. First, let's set the monthly rate at $20. That's an increase of $5.25 over the current $14.75 rate, which has been in place since 2013. Second, we eliminate the current recycling program. The reality is we aren't effectively recycling in Dothan. We have the appearance of recycling, but we aren't really recycling because what we put in the blue cans isn't recyclable. It ends up in our landfill or costs us money to get hauled somewhere and ends up in their landfill. Eliminating the problem could save us approximately $8 million over the next 10 years. Third, charge $10 for an additional garbage can. My family creates an insane amount of garbage, and so I need to pay for that, right? I need to have an extra can, and so I need to pay for that service. And finally, I'd present a 5% annual increase to the $20 solid waste fee until we close the gap. Once we've closed that gap, then we can look at what we're going to do in the future. So I believe we have a choice. We can continue doing nothing and keep taking money from the general fund. We can privatize and potentially pay a for-profit company significantly more, or we can find some common ground, close the gap, and put the solid waste fund on a stable and sustainable financial path. I believe that's our responsibility.
Thank you. Anybody else, Commission?
So, I could, I guess, get on board. I know that still creates a good gap. I don't know if Ramona has a number on the gap it would still create through the years. And so I've kind of looked at that scenario as well. If I was going to find the middle ground, I think my middle ground would be $20 starting October 1st, another $5 to $25, and then put an accelerator on it. I think that closes the gap a little more while still not going up to the 35 plus accelerator. It would never catch up, I don't think, to break even. So that would have to be readdressed by another commission or this commission later after we saw what it did. But if we were looking for a happy medium, that would be more my suggestion. I think that's, and I understand it is a cost and a burden for everybody to pay it. But I think we would still be subsidizing a good bit, even at the 25, and that's a 20 this year, another 5 next year. And instead of continuing on with the 5s, which in the private sector, they would get right to the 35 they need right now to make money. And so I think that would be my thought if we didn't go with the 5.555 to, I think it's 35, and then to, or 30, whatever it is, to, and then the 3.5% accelerator that's been proposed. So in my mind, I think that solves the problem in the long run if we go ahead and go with what was been proposed. And that doesn't leave it for this commission later or another commission to then have to go back and look at it. So some of those same tough decisions that were made years ago when groups had that sales tax and things, that it handled things for a long time. And so if I had to compromise, that would be my compromise at the 20, then 25 the next year, and then the 5% on. If I'm just throwing that out. If anybody has any other ideas.
And my hesitation, Mayor, was the burden of tacking on $20 a month over a 4-year span in this economic, and what kind of burden that would be across the city. And you know, I think there's a thought process of, hey, look, we pay sales tax, we do this, what are we getting for that? And I think this may be one of those things that could be one of the deals that might be included in what people think. And so that's why I present that compromise. And David, I've got no issue with that.
Mine would include the $10 for the second can, or
Sure.
each additional can as well. If you had 2 cans or 3 cans, you'd pay an extra 10 for each.
Yeah.
To make sure I clarify that.
Anybody else?
Is this something we need to look at a little longer? That'd be the first question. And number two, in the first quarter of 2010, commissioners at that time, and the only one that survived that vote that voted yes on that 1% sales tax was Honorable Paul Lee. And point of that sales tax, or one thing that was promised in those minutes, was there would never be a garbage fee. And you can actually look back and check that. So that 1% at that time was supposed to cover that garbage fee if you actually take the time and look back at it. I think if you look at the survey, they're exactly correct that most citizens feel like a program should pay for itself. But then when you ask them if they should pay for it, they say no. No. So that's kind of the problem we're dealing with. The problem I kind of have right now is the timing. I think people are struggling. I'm struggling. Everybody's struggling. It don't matter your income. I think the timing, $3 or $4 right now is a big deal a month, believe it or not, to some households. And I think there may be an option 4, and I'd be glad to look at all those options because, like Gant says, you can't be closed-minded on these things. But I think our job is not to do your job personally. I think you do a good job. I think our job is to just say, hold on, this may not be the right time, or this may not work. Our job isn't to run your day-to-day activities. But the feedback I'm getting, I don't know if any other commissioners are getting, is if you talk to your average person on the street, I don't know if it's all-time confidence is high on how we're spending our money. And I think it's kind of hard to ask the public for that until maybe option 4 will be to work on that perception. I don't know if anybody else has it, but that's kind of my holdup. That's all I got.
What is option 4? Could you?
I was kind of thinking about another option, but Ms. Daniels, you want to go first?
Yeah, somebody.
My constituents had been calling me, and they're not in favor of an increase. They say they're decreasing services and increasing the pay. So I have been getting a lot of calls, and the people have been talking about, my constituents have been saying they just do not want an increase in the garbage fee.
So I don't want to say I'm apologizing, but I mean, I kind of am because, the public, this is the sausage being made right now. The Open Meetings Act requires us to deliberate in public, so we're not behind the scenes like sorting this out. We had our work group, we've had a lot of data provided to us, and so this is a little bit different situation than what you might have seen if you've been attending these meetings. So that's kind of the reason why this is a little bit different. And I heard a lot of great things in what Commissioner Pierce said. I agree with a lot of what Commissioner Crutchfield said. And as I've been thinking about this, I honestly, when I came here today, I didn't really know where this was going to go. But I'm kind of thinking maybe another option is to, maybe we slow down just a little bit. Maybe we say all of these non-monetary changes, with the exception of like the $10 for the extra fee, but maybe we implement everything else, and then we look at this in 6 months. And in 6 months, we say, okay, all the changes have been put into effect. We can see how effective they were, what the cost savings were, and I think that would give us another data point to say, okay, I think we all know that we have to do something. Or at least, I think the majority of us know we have to do something, but I think if we can implement the more the policy changes, we eliminate the recycling as what was suggested, we do the second can fee, we do all the other changes to try to get our costs down, and then we just reevaluate in 6 months. We'll probably see within a couple months what the savings is on those. And then I think we come back and we say, okay, this is what it is. We kind of confirm what the savings are, and so if we're looking for a middle-of-the-road situation right now, I think we could do a lot of these things right now where we have consensus, and then we could revisit this in 6 months. It won't be any easier in 6 months, but I think we'll have more data in that period of time. So that might be my compromise is let's implement everything we can, review it, see what the impacts are. This problem's been building for 13 years. It didn't just happen this past year. So maybe that's a way that we can get a little bit more data and then make this final decision in 6 months.
Just a comment on that, if I could, and not disagreement, but and I'm not sure, maybe you were here, and Mayor, this came up 3 or 4 years ago, and we did nothing. And so 6 months, yeah, but we just can't continue. It's grown and grown and grown, and if anybody's looked at the data, so it's 5.5, 6 million. This year, it'll be 10 million in 36 if we do nothing. So I know that's something. So we can't just, that's a little bit of a delay, but I can live with. But I just don't want to see it get forgotten because it's a tough topic. Those folks that served before us made tough decisions, and it may cost you your elected position. But I ran to do what was best for this whole city in the long term. Sometimes the short term, it's a pain to do those things because none of us want to pay more. So I'm open to any of those ideas. I just want to make sure we don't, in 6 months, so another 6 months and another 6 months, and those changes, which will make a little difference with getting rid of recycling and a few of these other things maybe. But I don't think it's really going to close the gap as much as you want. So just my comments.
And I agree completely. And if that's what the majority wants to do with regards to it, I'm amenable to that. But I think the constant is we know we're going to have to go up. We've got to go up. I mean, that's glaring, and it's got to do something. My thought process was, okay, let's take everything that's been recommended to us except the acceleration of the monetary commitment that would be on the constituents, because that is really fast and that is a lot of money. And so I thought we could take the recommendation, carve out that part of it, implement a 5% increase or whatever we want to. A 5% next year would effectively be $12 a year, $1 a month. I think that's starting to shave that gap a little. But as to David's point and your point too, we've got to do something, and we know we've got to do something, and that's going to mean an increase somewhere. Staying it for 6 months, it's just going to be, we're going to come here and we're going to say, hey, look, we got to spend more, we got to up this charge. So that would be my thing, but I don't disagree with you a bit. And like I said, if that's what the majority wants to do, I can be on board.
Well, thanks everyone for participating and providing a lot of comment. I think one thing that we always need to keep in, especially our citizens as well, is that you can't look at an increase in this one particular fee as the only thing that we have going on that needs attention. We're spending millions of dollars a year on sewer, on stormwater infrastructure, on roads. on police and fire. It takes a lot of money to run a city. And so when you look at just increasing this one fee, this is just a small part of trying to help us generate enough revenues in order to pay for all those things that we have going on out there. There are a lot of services that we provide that we don't make money on. I mean, all of our community centers don't make money. It costs money in order to continue to run those, to hire employees, to make sure that those community centers are up and running and have the programs that we had and the programs that you were showing for Parks and Rec. So this is one piece of a really large pie. And so I think to me, and I agree with what everybody has said, what makes it daunting for the citizen is that extra 5, 5, 5, and 5. I think that if you could bump up to the 5 this time and get us at least to the $20, and then either wait and look at, take maybe Commissioner Stock's view and look at the data from there if it made people more comfortable. I just think, I'm like you, I think it's something that we're going to probably need to do either way. I think putting some kind of percentage each year helps us at least keep up with cost of living to some degree. Even with the fees that's on our water, we still are not catching up with a lot of that as well. So I think if we could at least get something today, but maybe not quite that increase to 5, 5, and 5 to close that gap in 3 or 4 years. I think that's what makes it hard on people to see that they're going from $14.75 to $30 in a couple of 2 or 3 years a month. Maybe that would be a compromise, guys.
I'm on board.
Well, I would like to, so Commissioner Stock's 6-month deal, could we, if we go with the $20, starting October 1st, $10 for second can, all the other things we're going to do, we do with recycling, add the 5%, and let's make a point to readdress it in a year. Let's see where we're at. If we made any progress, if we just do this and then it's going to float around, it's still going to lose money, which I guess in agreement that maybe that's going to happen. But I hate to see it just again. It's just going to come and fester. If we see, what does it do? What difference did it make? Getting rid of recycling, doing these other things. And I know some of it's going to take longer than a year probably to get done. But I don't think this will totally settle it. But it is a step. And so I would not be against taking a step.
And I don't want to speak for Commissioner Stock. I don't think he's talking about a money standpoint. He's talking about the other attributes of maybe, a recycling program or not picking up every week.
Yeah, so again, we're making sausage here. So as we're kind of trying to figure this out, I'm just thinking that we implement everything but the cost increase, the monthly fee today, and then we come back in 6 months and we have to take this on. We do. Commissioner Pierce's plan may be an excellent plan. It may be $20, and then we set a 2% or whatever that adjustment is, or maybe it's $25, and we set that. Whatever that is, I'd like to see some of the data on it rather than just make a knee-jerk decision right here and while we're just trying to figure this out in real time. And so that's kind of why I'm thinking a 6 months. Let's implement all of these other things that we know we probably have to do. I think there's probably 100% agreement on everything but the amount going up. And so if we can stay that part of this resolution today, but with a commitment from all of us up here that we're going to revisit this in 6 months. And I think that gives us some time with the staff. It gives us some time. Maybe we have another work group and we work through it, but we have to do something. I think we all agree that, but I'm just kind of worried about making this decision on the fly and what the impacts might be. That's my concern.
Well, I would say, to rebut that a little bit, we've got all the data. We've collected all the data. We've done every study known to man. Once again, we know that this cost has to go up. Why delay it another 6 months? If we delay it 6 months, it serves no purpose. It's just kicking the can that we've kicked for 13 years. We're all in agreement. Like you said, we've got to do something. I think that we should take the recommendation of staff. and get it to at least that 20. I'm fine with David and y'all's recommendation. Let's set a time, whether it's 6 months or a year, to come back, revisit it, see where we're at, and see what adjustments need to be made. I mean, kicking the can 6 months, it really presents no solution other than we're just doing the same thing we've always done and expecting a different.
I would politely disagree. I mean, I think what we clearly would do is it generate more revenue from the second can. It would eliminate recycling, which would present a definite cost savings. We would change the policies for how we pick up and the size. So all those things, it would give us a few months of data on specifically what did, so we'd have a more informed decision. I really think that maybe your suggestion would be the right suggestion at that point in time as we go forward, but I think we would have 6 months or a few months of data from the changes that we could actually have that concrete. And so I would respectfully disagree with that. I do think it would have some tangible, immediate benefits to our budget, and this is tough. This is tough.
No, I get it.
So I would say, to hearing all of that, trying to come up with something we can move forward with, or either one, table where we are and bring it back and at another time. If we don't feel like we're able to come to an agreement with a compromise at this particular point.
I don't think doing nothing is, I mean, I think we need to do something. So I would strongly suggest that we adopt as presented with the exception of the monthly increases with it coming back in 6 months. I think that would be my recommendation, Mr. Mayor.
My recommendation would be move forward with the increase to $20. Holding off on that is just going to exacerbate the financial position that we're in today. And so Commissioner Stock's got good points and everything like that, but I think that we're just kicking the can if we don't do anything today with regards to making that fee increase of $5.25 to $20.
So I guess mine would be I think we would save some money with Commissioner Stock's way. I still don't think it's going to be, and it would tell us more exact, but it's still going to be a need, I think, to add. I'm thinking even if we went to 20, put an accelerator on it, did everything else, the extra cans, $10, all the recycling goes away, all those other things, then in a year we need to relook at it to see where are we at then. I still think we're going to have a deficit. I don't know if we don't know exactly because we're making some assumptions. So instead of being, $10 million coming out of the general fund in 36, maybe it's only 7 or 8 or something. So it's still, and we just have to decide what we're willing to live with. Because as the mayor mentioned, these funds go to many things. We have many nonprofits asking for money every year, and they're asking for more every year. This is where that money comes from, for the schools, for SPOs, SROs, the police, fire. I think we've on the horizon in 10 years for another fire station. Those aren't cheaping the people. So the money's, it can't just bleed out. Some can go out, and I understand that, but at some point, we've got to put a little Band-Aid, I guess, is all we're doing. Even at $20, I think, is a Band-Aid. So I'm not really in disagreement with either of you. I just in 6 months, I think we'll have seen just a little bit of the effect this can take by doing away with some of these services. But I would probably lean more toward the 20. I'd even put the accelerator on there of whatever that interest rate is. And then in a year, we need to commit to, let's look again and see, it's still going to be a bleed, a negative cash flow, a big one. So to me, that is a compromise. And either we wait 6 months to look at it or we do it now. And I guess I would kind of go more with the go ahead and put something. I know we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do it in 6 months. So that's just my recommendation. I like the higher number, but I'm willing to go with a lower number.
Just call a question on that.
Because we haven't had a formal motion on, except for what's on the table, so.
Right. I'm saying, so we don't have really any consensus, so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we
You want to amend?
keep the ordinance as stated with the exception of raising the solid waste cost to $20, effective October 2026. We eliminate the current recycling program with the recycling centers still being utilized. We charge $10 for an additional garbage can, and then a accelerator of 5% a year to the $20
Every October 1st, I guess. But
every October,
whatever.
beginning in October 2027. Yes, it needs a second.
I could second that.
You have that down?
So that motion is to adopt the ordinance as presented
With the exception.
with the exception of the rate increases, with an increase of $20 next October 1st and then 5% each October.
Okay. Does everybody understand the motion and the second?
And then what's the policy on that? Is that unanimous consent to go forward, or how does that work?
Majority.
Majority.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on that amendment or to the motion, the resolution that's on the table. So we'll call for a hand, raise your hand for your votes since there's only 6 of us here. So all in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Okay, we have a tie. Yeah. If I guess then that fails for lack of it's a tie. I'd like to suggest that we table this for a couple of months to give the commission maybe time to have a work session and possible time with you, because I think that that's what's needed is for each one of us to express our desires and on how to move forward with that. And help to give you some guidance on what's something that after everyone has a chance to speak with you, to come up with a suggestion that mirrors more of what all the commissioners want.
We can run numbers based off of all the ideas that were presented today.
Okay.
And if we need to, we'll have another work session.
Yeah, and/or just strongly encourage all the commissioners to meet with you to go over those recommendations and that comes from your numbers that y'all generate based on a lot of the ideas were presented today.
Happy to do so.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for participation, the commission, that is. And again, thank you, staff, for helping us to kind of work through something that's important to everybody up here in all 6 districts. So sometimes being an elected official is not easy. Appreciate the hard work from everybody. All right, we're going to move on now with our agenda, which is we're at item number 11, if you've lost where we are, which is resolution number 2026-212. It's confirming the cost incurred in weed abatement of properties determined to be nuisances and turning the amounts over to the county tax collector to be added to the next regular bills for taxes levied against the properties.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion is second is for approval. Any discussion or questions by the commission? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item number 12, resolution number 2026-213, entering into an NFL flag league registration agreement between Dothan Leisure Services and RCX Sports LLC for NFL flag football, a youth flag football program.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion is second is for approval. Any discussion?
Is this going to cost the city any money, or is it just kind of a flow through?
There's no cost to this, is there?
No cost to be part of it, but except when we order uniforms and flags.
Gotcha, it's the same thing as always.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 13 is resolution number 2026-214, entering into a memorandum of understanding with the United States Capitol Police for reimbursement of agreed upon law enforcement support and protective services.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion is second is for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 14 on the agenda is resolution number 2026-215. It's entering into an agreement with Quadient Incorporated for Parcel Locker software subscription and Parcel Locker maintenance for a total cost of $3,600 over a 36-month period for the purpose of providing a secure, publicly accessible location for gov deals, purchase, pickup, and parcel deliveries.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion and second is for approval. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, item 15, resolution number 2026-216, enter into an agreement with Slate Communications for services associated with the rebranding of the city of Dothan and the transition of Dothan Leisure Services to Dothan Parks and Recreation for amount not to exceed $89,840 and appropriating the funds for the said agreement.
Can I give the explanation?
I'll make a motion for approval if someone wants a second for
Second.
discussion. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
motion and a second for approval. Now, can we have a explanation, please?
Yes, sir. So Leisure Services had a desire to rebrand to Parks and Rec, and we thought that at the time, by having that go on with them, we would just take a look at the entire city rebranding. In my 28 years, I don't think that's ever really been looked at. We discussed this in strategic planning as something we wanted to do, and staff had worked with a couple of companies on quotes, and this is the one that they've come back with.
Under the current website, it has the summer program guide, and it states all things happening in parks and recreation this summer. They're already using it.
The program guide says Parks and Rec on it.
It's got leisure. Oh, okay.
Recreation activity.
Yeah.
This got leisure services on the logo on here.
Yeah, what it would do, it would look at the logos to see what was going to be most appropriate. It would include, having meetings with the public to see what their input is, as well as with you all and staff.
It went from the 89,000 it went from 50,000 to 89,000 due to the economy.
No, ma'am. It increased due to adding looking at the entire city, looking at all the different departments.
So this is a city's look and the transition for
Correct.
so combined. Okay.
Will there be any extra cost to add the city on later? Or is this all of it?
This is including adding the city.
Yeah, and that's kind of a game changer, because before it was just leisure services, but rebranding the entire city. Would that cause any big signs to be changed or anything like that all the way across the board?
Well, it would require some signage to be changed at some of the parks. As far as the city, we don't really have that many signs that we would have to change.
That would be phased in at certain times.
Oh, absolutely.
And then before we put any big signs on new buildings, we make sure we had the right city logo and all that kind of jazz, so we don't have to do it twice. That's really not that bad. Because there isn't many Dothan Leisure Service signs, I don't imagine, everywhere.
No, in most cities, it's Dothan Parks and Rec and not Leisure Services. Leisure Services is a little bit of an old moniker.
Doesn't really say what we're doing.
Any other questions or comments from the commission?
I'm all right with that.
All right, all in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. All right, item number 16 is resolution number 2026.
Was there approval before for that?
There's not a privilege.
There were no privileges of floor request.
I didn't think I had to because it's not meeting to vote. I would have requested that.
It's only for public hearings where privileges of the floor are not required, but if it's an agenda item, it's not a public hearing, it does require it.
I didn't realize that.
Well, we'd be glad to meet with her. I'm not concerned.
I'll-
Later. Be glad to meet with you after the meeting if you'd like.
Okay.
All in favor say yea.
Yeah.
Any opposed say nay. All right, item 16, resolution number 2026-217, enter into an agreement with Ardura Group Incorporated for the 2026 new Cypress Creek wastewater treatment plant upgrades project for the not to exceed sum of $3,046,160 and appropriating the funds for the said agreement.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and a second is for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 17 is resolution number 2026-218, providing matching funds submitted by the IDB for sewer outfall line improvement serving the Westgate super site.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and seconds for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 18, resolution number 2026-219, approving payment of invoices in the month of July 2026 in the amount of $25,155,876.71.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and seconds for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 19, resolution number 2026-220, awarding bids and approving other purchases over $30,000 by the city.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and seconds for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 20 is resolution number 2026-221, approving advanced travel requests for city employees.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion and second is for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 21 is an acceptance of a sidewalk easement from Wings Wide 24 LLC located at 784 North Oak Street.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion is second for approval. Any discussion? All in favor say yea.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. Item 22 on your agenda. And this one doesn't require a vote. It's announcing the appointment of Dr. Casey Thompson as a member of the Dothan Housing Authority. Please make note, City Clerk. Item 23 is an appeal from Samuel A. Tu of the city manager's decision to prohibit him from speaking at a city commission and administrative meetings for a period of 6 months following a second expulsion within a 5-year period. The commission shall vote on whether the ban from speaking should be set aside, modified, or upheld. Mr. Tu, of course, as usual, you have the 3 minutes.
Different animal. This isn't clear as a floor. This is on the agenda.
Clarification, please.
Hold on. Let's read the appeal process. There's no time limit.
Mr. Attorney.
There's not. Hold on.
I'm just, Mr. Tu, please, just let me say goodbye.
Time out. The clock's running.
Don't worry about that saying.
Don't worry about it.
He'll be all right.
Say again.
We told Mr. Dewey we had 3 minutes to speak and to respond to any questions the commission might have about this.
All right.
Have we ever done that for any other hearings?
Okay. I can live with that. Hold on.
It never has to be a
First of all, this is a week of prayer. I'm going to pray. Can y'all bow your heads? Dear Lord, thank this day. Thank all the blessings you've given us, blessings we sometimes take for granted. I pray for the people that fought for this country, that lost their lives for a right to speak. They set up rules that have to be abided by. But Lord God, I pray we keep our eyes on you. And I pray that we build our houses on the rock, not the sand. And I pray these gentlemen will quit hardening their heart against me and realize I have Jesus Christ in my heart. And Jesus Christ is never lost. Amen. Okay. 223. Shouldn't have been running while I was praying. But let me tell you this. There's procedural due process of the law. Everybody is guaranteed that. There's 3 requirements. You have to give a written appeal, which they gave, a right to appeal, and it has to be before an impartial judge. This case needs to be in the courthouse, not here. He's an elected official. He can't be a judge. Furthermore, the ordinance was supposed to be served by him in writing personally from him. He's under a cease and desist order. He served it through Wendy Shiver, which is criminal. Okay. He'll try to bar band me and shut me up, but the police chief getting in my face and using the F word's okay. The police chief getting in my face or me throwing a T-shirt underhanded is okay. You see this right here. I challenge you to honestly, intelligently ask yourself, do you want this to go before a trial by jury, what I've been through? 32 years ago, this started 2 days from the day when me buying a Corvette and taking it to a fire station. A firefighter got jealous, 2 of them. So they started harassing me. I went before your daddy and told him about a guy that sold hundreds of guns at a fire station. What did they do? They fired me. Why would one man go through all this, honestly? Honestly, why? There's not a valid reason. I'm what y'all call crazy. I have a record of 36 wins and 1 loss. You got a city manager, he had a choice. He could have got on the winning side, but he chose the man who collects KKK paraphernalia. And I don't say something I can't prove. You had a police chief who named his son after the KKK founder. You got to love your neighbor. Y'all can vote against me if you want, but you're breaking law. Under procedure law 18242, if you deprive me of a right, it's a misdemeanor on your part. You know, we got to do this in front of a judge. This is not impartial. And furthermore, I'm going to ask him to recuse himself. Again, he was not at the second commission meeting. And I was expelled at the first, not for doing anything wrong, but saying, did you expel your wife? That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions from the commission? We're allowed to ask under the new appeal process that we have for this. Your commissioners are allowed to ask questions if you would like to ask questions.
Mr. Two, I will. I'm a strong believer in the First Amendment. As a veteran and served this country for a long time, I think people being able to come and speak their piece is important. And I guess my question to you is, why do you continue just to harp on things of the past that are not really relevant to the city's business at the present? Because I want you, if you just let me finish, I want you to be able to come, I want everyone to be able to come and to speak. I want everyone to be able to come and address the concerns and things that we're doing so that we can have constructive business. I think the concern, and I've heard from some citizens about this, as well, is like, well, we want to be able to come talk about things, but we don't want it to get into like a sideshow. So, going forward, will you kind of limit it to legitimate, relevant city business, or are we going to harp on things from a long time ago that?
My turn?
Yes, sir.
I have 23 actionable offenses in the last 12 months. When I stayed over there in the office and didn't come over here, nothing happened. Let me say this real quick and I'll finish. I asked Attorney Don Bennett, who I prayed with before I got here this morning, years ago, I said, Mr. Bennett, I go over there and I give great presentations and they don't pay me the least bit of attention. He said, yeah, they do too. Why do they send them policemen to beat your brains out? And let me say this, and I'm not smart to say this for you voting, but you interrupted me in that meeting and said this is ridiculous. He should have expelled you. You did. But you wasn't at that meeting where his wife was kicking doors, were you? Were you?
Well, no, sir, that's what I'm saying. This was well before my tenure, so I'm just dealing with what I have in front of me today.
When you came in here October the 7th, it didn't.
Right.
And I respect your opinion. But look at what I've been through. Show me some empathy. You got a police chief cussing me like a sailor and he don't discipline him. I've been expelled by him once. He didn't even write that down.
Sam, he was just asking in the future, would you just keep it to relevant
Sir,
business?
I'll make a deal. I'm not coming back here after today. Socrates, whichever way y'all vote, I'm not. I got a trial with him September 14th. This is all going to work out. But let me say this. Socrates said attack method, not principle. I'm not coming into your house and expecting to be treated fairly, and I've never been treated fairly. I've been assaulted in this building, all over this town. Why? Because you wouldn't discipline a guy. You're an Army guy. You got a guy aiming at an Army helicopter, and the city condoned his conduct for 30 years. I'm not the bad guy here.
No, I don't think you're a bad guy. I just think that I want to make sure that as we do business and we encourage people to come and to talk, that we have constructive discussions. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, this is the wrong venue for me.
Okay.
I should have filed a second lawsuit a long time ago, but I didn't. But you vote your conscience, but if you vote against me, you're violating federal law. I'm just being honest with you. I've studied law for 32 years. How many times have I lost?
So will you commit to, you
I
know,
commit to you this. You vote your heart, I'm not coming back in this commission meeting again until I file a federal lawsuit. Let's look at a bigger solution. You can go to federal court, you can hire Jim Pike, and he's gonna lose again. Y'all knew you take a guy in the city, commit me to a mental hospital twice, and you beat his brains for 30 years, and I didn't even get due process. But I understand from July the 1st to 2024 backwards, that's not actionable. But let me explain to this, and he'll agree with this. If it goes back to federal court, everything I've been through since August the 20th of 94 will be introduced.
I want you to be able to come back. I want everyone to be able to come and to speak.
I have the right to come back.
I do.
And whether you bar me or not, you don't have the legal right to do so. But, you know, I just about died fighting for my right to speak. You got 5 officers beating my brains out over at the Opera House. Why? For 9 years, Commissioner Stock, they illegally kept me out of this building. I made a statement on November 5th, 2015. Smits wouldn't let me talk. I said, Mayor, I'm faithful to my wife as I walked out here. Shouldn't have said that. But does that give him legal grounds to keep me out here for 9 years?
We could bring this to.
Yeah, sir, I know.
But
I guess my point is, I've heard you say this like 10 times, and I agree with what you're saying.
Okay.
We've heard you say it, and all I'm saying is, you've made your point, and we've heard you. I've heard you personally,
Okay.
you know, 10 times in the last year. Yes, sir, so,
Yeah, I'm good
Okay.
at what you say.
thank you.
But let's clearly establish this. I think Mr. Pierce should recuse himself.
I'm not recusing myself, Sam.
All right, we're going to call for a motion, and we need, what is the motion?
Well,
It's-
and the only thing I got to discuss.
Okay, hold on,
I
sorry.
got one thing. And I think all of us commissioners, no offense to you, Mr. Two, but my ears are bleeding, Lord, and I think I'd rather have a root canal some days than listening, but that's your right to come here and do it. I'm glad to listen to it. The only problem is last 10 minutes, you busted this new ordinance we just formed after everybody was elected. Probably every single meeting, but the only problem is last meeting, you didn't bust it. The one you actually got expelled, or at least in my personal opinion, so I actually asked for clarification of how you did, and I never got it, so that's the reason I can't vote to uphold it today. But that's all I got.
Motion to set aside city manager's ruling, modify or uphold.
Uphold the ruling?
Uphold the city manager's decision to suspend Mr. Toots.
Okay, uphold the ruling, not the appeal. Okay. All right, do we have a motion then from someone on the floor, please?
I
or
think,
commission.
I make a motion to set aside for now.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, so you want a second to set aside the appeal? All right. All right, any discussion?
So we've got a motion to set aside the appeal.
Explain, please.
Set aside the city manager's decision.
Motion to set
Set aside the bar.
Right, just put this one right. Just push this behind us.
All right.
You said-
Yeah,
Y'all have it, you understand?
I do.
Okay.
You understand?
No. Do you need clarification?
A yea would
How would
be
that vote
to
work,
set it
what they're
aside,
saying?
Correct.
and a nay would be to
Vote
move
yea
forward.
for it.
That motion is approved, then he is not banned from 6 months.
But if it dies,
Then
it's upheld. Okay.
So,
I think we should call the vote.
Okay.
well, hold on, but,
Okay.
but then is there another one brought up?
There's been a motion in the second.
Is there another one?
So, but if that was not upheld, then do you vote for upheld, or is it just upheld at that point if you call it?
It's upheld.
We had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand.
But you're gonna lose it.
All opposed, raise your hand.
Your vote doesn't count, Mayor.
It does. Yeah, it does. I vote for that.
So it's tied.
So it dies.
So, legal gonna tell us,
The city
set aside.
I got to go. All right, sorry.
If I would have made a motion to uphold his thing and it would have tied, you wouldn't have been banned. A motion was made to set aside, it tied, it dies, it's upheld.
But you won't even hear that second commission meeting.
I wasn't here for 3 of them, buddy.
All right. City manager?
Did y'all adjourn?
Oh, that's all right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay. All right.
All right, first item we have on the administrative agenda is approval of minutes from August 4th, 2026 meeting.
Can we get a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second to approve. All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Any opposed say nay.
All right, the next item is discussion of leasing the Southside Elementary School property. Mr. Nate Patterson has